Starting your own SMMA agency has never been easier. With all the AI tools, the automations, the softwares, you could have your agency up and running in just a few days. So if you have an idea to start running your SMMA agency and few $100s, well, you're in luck, because today I'm going to show you the new hybrid way to scale your agency in 2024. I have built my lead generation agency 1.5 years ago, and today I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing even without any previous experience. And at the end, I'm going to share with you the hybrid funnel that got me 3 clients just 1 week. Step number 1, figure out which type of agency you even want to run. The examples are content agency, web design agency, lead generation agency, email marketing agency, or copywriting agency. Now, of course, each one of them have their pluses and minuses. Some questions you want to be asking yourself when picking up your type of agency are the amount of time that's required to find a client, the amount of time it's needed to fulfill the service, and the amount of employees that you will need if you want to start scaling your agency. Now, my advice here is if you have any sort of previous knowledge in any of them, you should pick one of them, because it's gonna be a lot easier to start running it. Also, you don't want to outsource everything immediately. For example, I see a lot of people speaking about, start running agency, find somebody to, find a media buyer, find somebody who is going to fulfill the service, and you just do the selling. Well, I tried that thing, right? Before I learned the lead gen ads, before I started to run it for my own agency, I tried to find other people to do that for me. And the problem was I had no idea which one of them had good results because I never tried it. So after 2 months of trying to find a media buyer, I realized that I have no clients, so why would I even want a media buyer? Even if I find some media buyer, I had no idea about the numbers. Which cost per lead is good, which is bad, like who is good, who is not, You have to figure out it for yourself at the beginning, at least for some period of time, and then outsource that. Step number 2, figure out your niche, right? So every sort of business falls into 3 categories. It's either health, wealth, or relationships. The subcategories are also product-based businesses, e-commerce, or service-based businesses. Now, when you're just a beginner, I would advise you to go with service-based businesses simply because getting results to product-based businesses, right, and e-commerce, it's much harder because you need to give them the actual sales. And if you never tried the ads, if you never did any of yours, if you're still beginning, right, you still have no idea how to do that properly, and you will really soon begin to lose your clients before you even get them some results. Now, some of the niches that I've found work really, really well are construction, tattoo studios, dentists, consultants, fitness trainers, coaches. It's all working, right? But you can see everything is service-based. At least from my experience, everybody who started with service-based businesses had easier start, better results, and overall much more enjoyable experience than somebody who went immediately with selling e-commerce. Now, one tip here, when you're choosing your niche, don't go too narrow, right? Don't go into some niche that is too specific. For example, I don't know, selling parrot circles to owners of parrots, for example. I mean, it's a stupid example, right? But you can see like it's really narrow place where you can market that. It's lacking clients, right? You want to pick somewhere where there is a lot of businesses already existing, and there is a lot of also other agencies who have offers for them, right? At the beginning, I was thinking that, competition is bad. I have to find something specific. But the reality is, if there is a lot of businesses, a lot of agencies offering the service to those businesses, it means it's working, right? And you just have to do something a little bit different to, to get the clients for yourself. Step number 3, and this is probably the most important piece here, is crafting your offer and your messaging, all right? It's usually mistaken, those two, so I'm going to break it down so you understand really what each one of them is. When we speak about the offer, it's simply a statement, one sentence, that's explaining the benefits and the end results that your clients will get if they work with you. All right. And when we speak about the messaging, it's all about to who you are speaking to, right? The specific piece of your niche. I'm going to go into that as we go on here. Now, when speaking about the offer, there is a simple formula that you can use. I help niche to get the end result, usually numbers, in a specific time frame. All right. So that can be like, I help dentists to get 5 clients in 7 days. Something like that. You want to get as many numbers as you can because people like to hear the numbers. Now, let me break down one big myth about the offer. It really doesn't matter, right? This is just a sentence for yourself, which you can change as you go on, right? If you can deliver more as time goes by, you can change your offer. You don't really have to be specifically connected to your offer because it's really changeable. What's probably more interesting and more important for you to get is the messaging. Now the messaging is, as I said before, to who you are speaking to, right? It's not just your niche, because inside of your niche you have the brokies and you have the rich people. Now the messaging is going to help you to speak only to people who have the money, right? You want to reach to people who have the buying intention, who have the money, and who are overall enjoyable to work with. Now the questions that you can ask yourself when you're trying to figure out the best messaging angle to reach to the right people, the right leads, are: what do successful clients from my niche need, right? Because they don't need the same things as the brokies one need. What do successful clients from my niche actually need? Because they will have different wishes, different problems, different desires than somebody who's just starting out, right? So you have to figure out what your niche is, then you have to figure out what the richest one from your niche wants. And then you can get something, right? What problems do they have? Okay, it's not gonna be the same problems. And also, which desires do they have? It can be more time. Maybe it's not like I want to get more clients. Maybe they have enough clients. Maybe there is a different problem there. Then you can ask yourself how you can help them, right? Take your service and figure out which part of your service can help the richest one from your niche. How I can call them out, right? The specific words that they may be vibing with more, right? Associating themselves with. That's also the last question that you can ask yourselves, like with which words are they associating themselves with, right? It can't be like, maybe it's not just the niche, maybe it's some specific word that they use that you can use in your content to attract only the ones that you want, right? The 1% of the wealthiest ones. Now, let me give you some examples here so that you know about what am I even speaking about here. First example is dentists. I'm going to get you 5 clients in the next 1 month, right? It's pretty generic. You don't really separate yourself from everybody else. Now, on the other hand, there is an option of going established dentist. I'm going to save you 2 hours per day and get you 5 clients in the next 7 days. Right? You can hear like we are speaking about established dentists. We are speaking about saving them more time because they're probably, they're lacking time. And all of this you can really know once you dive into your niche. The more you ask yourself different questions about it, the more you speak to them, the more you will know these nuances and get to the point where you can really speak to the right ones. Now, figuring out the messaging for myself got my agency from $400 per month to making $10K per month in just 2 months. And the change that I made there was changing 4 words in my content, right? Just finding the way how to speak to the right people. Then you get better leads, then you get, easier sales calls, and everything becomes much more easygoing than it is if you speak to everybody. Now, the step number 4 is running paid ads. This is why I told you you have to have some sort of money saved up, a couple $100s, because if you go with a route of cold outreach, it's gonna take too much time, right? There is a lot of automations now, a lot of AI, a lot of people already running content. It's really cheap actually to get that. You can get leads for, if you invest $6 per day, you can get 3 leads per day. So it's not so much money that you need to invest, and it's much faster than if you go with a route of doing cold outreach. Just save yourself months, years of your life. Save some money, invest in ads. It's gonna be much faster route for you. Believe me, I tried, so that's why I can tell you about that. When it comes to Facebook and Instagram ads, it's all one platform, right? It's all under the cap of Meta. You have different options in which you can get yourself leads. It can be profile visit ads, it can be engagement campaigns, and it can be lead generation campaigns. After I tested all of those campaigns, I always come back to lead generation because of few reasons. First of all, there is a filtering effect, which you can accomplish by calling out the right people on your ads. Then you have the lead form, where you can basically ask people different questions. You can make a list of 5, 6, 7 questions where they need to answer that before they become your leads, right? And whoever signs up, whoever goes to the end of that torture of 2 minutes of filling up the questions, they will be the perfect clients for you. Now, with other campaigns, you don't really have that option. If you ask somebody to follow you, he's not qualified. If you ask somebody to send you the message, he's not qualified. But with lead generation, you have that control, right? You have the 7 questions and answers before you even engage in conversations with them. What I've seen also, the difference between all of the other campaigns and lead generation is that people who sign up have the buying intention, right? Whoever goes through the torture of answering 5, 6, 7 questions, they really want to buy now. So the only thing you have to do at that point is sell them your service, right? Sell them your offer, do the sales calls in the right way, and they're basically yours. One other thing that also happens is people ghost you. When you go with lead gen, you basically have their phone number, you have their email. So if you choose to follow up with them in the long run, do some sort of lead nurture, you have the option, right? If you go with messages, they can ghost you, right? You don't have the email, you don't have the phone number. If you go with profile visit ads, you know, they become your follower, they may never message you, you know, you don't have that interaction, right? So that's why I always like to go with lead gen, especially in the beginning, because then you have a chance to practice your sales and overall excel much faster than you would with other approaches. Now I wanted to show you the actual results that I get from my lead generation campaigns. It's gonna be somewhere here on the screen. Now you can see the cost per lead is really low, considering the fact that you get the answers to any question that you chose to ask them on that lead form, and then you just have to call them and try to get the deal closed. And of course, this is not just tested on my agency. I do the same approach to all of my agency clients. Also, whoever is inside of my coaching program, they do the same thing. They get the same results for different sort of SMMA agencies, right? Content creation, lead generation, web design, whichever SMMA agency you try, these ads are working. The results are always kind of the same. If you test it out, you can expect these sort of results. If you're asking yourself, how do those ads look like? The first link down below is gonna be a free agency swap file with a different ads for different niches with a good messaging done there. It's all proven to work in real time, so you can go and check it out. Now the fifth step is conducting sales calls. After you get a lead, you need to close the deal. Now there are two versions that you can go with. There is a one call close and there is two call close. Depending how advanced you are in your agency, right? If you're just beginning, you want to go with two call close because you want to practice your sales, you want to get as many touch points as you can with your prospects. And if you're already established, you have some client results from before, you have some testimonials, then you can go with one call close. I'm gonna go into that right now. Before I go into that, I really wanna quickly touch upon the sales framework that I have in my mind that's basically always applicable. I call it the Paradise Island framework, and it has 4 stages, right? So in every sort of framework, you don't have the scripts, you don't have to, memorize it word by word. You just have to know the boxes where you are at some point. And in those 4 stages, you basically have a place where you have to figure out where client is, where client wants to go, the Paradise Island, where they want to, get on vacation, what's the ideal place they want to go to. You have to figure out what problems do they have, what did they test out before, why it didn't work, why are they not on that Paradise Island right now. And then after you know all of those 3 things, you can build your bridge and get them to the Paradise Island. And this is basically you pitching your offer, right? You can't pitch your offer if you don't know where they are, where they want to go, and what did they test out before. And this is basically how you conduct each and every one of your sales calls. Okay, first 3 stages is you asking questions, and the last stage is you pitching the offer. You want to speak 20% of time. Everything else, the prospect has to speak. Okay, let's go and recap what we have by now. The first step is picking your service. Second step is picking your niche. Then you pick your offer messaging. Then you run it on paid ads. And then you conduct the sales calls. For my agency clients, my coaching students, I use the funnel called the lead gen funnel. This is basically a hybrid funnel that I created that can get you 3 clients in just 1 week, tested out many times. That's why I know the numbers. It works for freelancers, agency owners, service-based business. In fact, I tested it out across 30 plus niches. It worked amazingly. 3 of my coaching students have never touched any sort of digital work by then. They got their first results in the first 1 month. And 10 plus agency owners and freelancers have tested it out, and they increased the number of their clients after they used the lead gen funnel. Now the funnel has 2 options that you can go for, depending where you are. If you are just a beginner, the funnel goes lead gen ads, first call, pre-call sequence, and then the sales call. If you're somebody who is already a intermediate or advanced agency owner, freelancer, the funnel is kind of different. You still go with lead gen as a beginning. Then you point everybody to thank you page. You have the pre-call sequence of emails that are pointing everybody back to the thank you page. And then you have the sales call. So the only difference is in the first case you have 2 calls, and the last case, second case, you have 1 call. Now if you want to learn in great details how you can start your SMMA agency, get to the first 10 clients, scale it in the long run, and get to 10K, I covered that and much more in my program. Now, of course, you can always copy and paste the systems, but I wanted to do something special here, and this is the reason why I created the Empire Club. The program where I focus not only on showing you how to copy my system step by step and implement everything right now, but also how you can think for yourself, so that you can thrive in the future when the new thing comes up or when AI starts to take over some of the jobs and replace us there. I made a free demo explaining exactly what I have inside, with all of the modules broken down, so it's gonna be the second link down below. You can go and check it out.